So you should get something now. Looks like it's on Facebook.
No, nothing's coming through. It
Uh,
hasn't
Tried that.
reanimated.
Yeah, it might take a minute to catch up. So
Is all about wine, the talk show dedicated to the wine industry.
and
We'll see
you
what
did not hear
happens.
that audio. Wow,
No,
that
I
is
didn't.
not
Until
supposed
you
to.
hit the little button,
All right.
played it. But
But when you see the video pop up, then you should wait a little bit, and you should hear hopefully the audio.
yeah, well,
Audio track.
we'll see. We have a guest tonight, people.
Yes.
AJ
Yeah.
Ojeda Ponds. I guess it's Ojeda.
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 Ojeda. Could be Ojeda.
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 Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be. Could
Could
be. It's Venezuelan, so
Hmm.
it's hard to.
Yeah.
All about wine live. Uh,
Do you see the? So you see the scroll?
it's scrolling on the bottom, yeah. But,
Okay. I think we have somebody on now.
yeah, we sure do.
Okay.
Let me
All right.
let me go and get him. Hello, AJ. Welcome to All About Wine.
Hey, how's it going? How you doing, guys?
Good.
We're doing well. We're not. We're
Well-
having a audio problem on one of our feeds, so
Yeah.
we're Well, Mike's working on that. Well, we can still talk. I guess it's going out, isn't it, on Blog Talk Radio?
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
we don't have a problem there. But okay. Well, we'll let Mike work on that, and you and I can talk, and we'll let him. Make. Oh, wait a minute. I think it's coming through on the.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it is coming through on the Facebook page.
Right.
I hear it.
Yeah. Just checking.
So
Something else.
Okay.
All right. So we're good.
That's
Yeah,
good.
no, initially when I saw the calendar invite, they had a Google Meet on it, so I was not sure if it was Google Meet or like make a phone call.
Oh.
No, I'll make a phone call. We don't do that Google Meet stuff. That's confusing for us.
We should though. That would be an alternative for sure.
We should. That would be. That might be something we can look into there.
Yeah.
Too, But no, we're not. We've only been doing this for 10 years. We're not there yet. So, no.
That's true. Give us another.
It takes us time. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
We were just talking, AJ, about right before you came on the pronunciation of your last name. Ojeda? What is it?
Yeah, it's Ojeda Pond.
Ojeda. You were right, Mike. It is Ojeda. Yeah. Very
Ojeda
good.
Pond. Yeah, it's it's Spanish, but the Pons is Catalan, so yeah, we get a little bit of a mix.
I see. Okay. Yeah, and being Spanish, the J is pronounced as H, and so you got all that. So, all right, very good. Well, again, thank you for taking your time out tonight and joining us. I was looking forward to talking with you. You have yourself quite a resume, not just in wine, but in other things too. That's really impressive.
Indeed, yeah. I almost
you know,
forgot about the podcast today. I was running around the restaurant. It's like really, really packed up there right now. And I was just like, I got to find a quiet spot to sit down. And we don't even have like an office or anything. So I'm in some like little room in the basement.
Well, it's better than the bathroom. You're not echoing.
Yeah.
You would echo in the bathroom. So it's not that. Well, good. I'm glad you found a quiet spot. What I would like you to do is tell us about your life up to wine. I mean, I see you study classical music and you play every instrument that is ever invented and all that other stuff. So,
yeah, I mean, I guess when right out of college, I was working. My dad's a pilot, so he had helped me find a job at the airport at the time, and I was working in a fixed base operation where I was handling a lot of like the hospitality aspects and for private jets that were flying in and taking care of all the catering and hotels and all sorts of things. And then I I was really interested in that, and everybody thought that I was going to be a pilot like my dad. And I ended up going to school to become a flight dispatcher, to get a license as a flight dispatcher. And then I realized that I didn't like it as much. So at the same time, I was at the conservatory. I was studying music, and my dream had been since a kid to become a great composer or conductor with a big, long hair and conducting some great orchestra. So I did that for many, many years since we were kids, actually, my brother and I. So after I finished with this airport stuff, I flew to Germany because I wanted to survey the conservatories over there, and I heard many good things. So I traveled all throughout Germany and the Czech Republic, and then I flew back to New York, and I said, I'm just gonna kind of sit here in New York and do it here. So I started working at a music post-production studio, doing mixing and recording. So because I was interested in learning the technology part of music, not just the composition. And I studied piano, harpsichord, bassoon, clarinet. I used to sing as a countertenor. Everything that was like classical music driven. But then I was just like, well, the new technology is coming up, and I want to learn how to compose like using the new technology. So I basically took this job as a music post-production studio engineer, junior engineer. And then right after that, September 11 happened, and the studio closed, and we were all out of jobs. And so that's basically where my restaurant career started. And my first job at a restaurant was as a reservationist at Tribeca Grill back in the day. And from then on, I always had an interest in wine, and remember that the wine classes happened right behind the hostess stand. And I was always like listening to them. And, we kind of had a bringing with wine, and having wine at the table at lunch and things like that. So with my family growing up. But I had never really put like the two and two together in terms of like origin and grape varieties and all those things. I kind of knew what the good wine was because it's what my dad ordered at restaurants,
Yeah. So you, after all that work and time and everything in the classical music and in the music world and all that, you just said, this is enough, and you went into wine.
Well, not into wine. I went into restaurants initially,
Restaurants.
So, and then just kind of, I was just interested in that aspect of hospitality since I already had done something like that before.
Right.
And then kind of, so I started going up and up the ladder, so from a host to the restaurant, to a host to a maitre d'. Then I went to be an assistant manager and so on. And then until I got to the right top, and then I realized that I didn't want to be a corporate manager. So I decided to take a couple steps back. Yeah, I just thought like, I don't want to be a corporate babysitter. So I just decided to take a few steps back and kind of just dedicate to wine. Just decided to apply for an assistant sommelier position with like the little knowledge that I had from all the books that I had read and whatnot. And then I went to take on my WSET advanced course, and that was back in 2013. And after that, I went directly to the advanced, passed it, and then I went on from then.
So you're working, I noticed in a note I have here that you're working on your diploma of wine and spirits certification.
I'm finished with that, yeah.
Oh, you finished that? So
I am finished, yeah. So that was one of the greatest things that 2020 gave me. It's the time to study. Because, I was furloughed from my last job then, and but so I had all the time in the world to like taste and revisit things that I had not tasted before, and just kind of like study and prepare. And the test happened earlier this year, 2021.
No, so you do have your certification now. You are a master sommelier then.
Well, not quite. I know
Not
that
yet.
the
Okay.
test, yeah, because the test is in two parts. So I know that
Oh.
the tasting portion I already passed with merit, and I'm just
Mm-hmm.
waiting on the results of the theory part. So
Oh.
it takes too long because they send them out to London, so to
London.
get graded over there. The WSET is based out of London.
Oh. Okay. So you're still waiting. Well, you
Yeah,
got it made.
yeah.
I have no.
Okay. I'm right there, the doorstep.
Yes, you're at the doorstep. So you're working at a restaurant now that you just opened?
Correct. Yeah. So it is a wine bar, and it's on Carmine Street called Temperance Wine Bar. And the concept was to open a wine bar where every single wine was served by the glass.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than just having a selection by the glass and a selection by the bottle, it's like we opened it up to every single wine available by the glass.
Ah.
And so initially, when when I was approached with this, the first question was, "How many glasses would you put on the list?" And I said, "Well, how about 100?" And they said, "You think you could do that?" And he said, "It's a little much." And I said, "No, I absolutely could do it. No problem at all." And then I quickly realized that 100 was not enough. So
Wow.
the
Wow.
list has more than 100 now. I think it's 126 at the moment, and it keeps evolving. I think I'm going to be changing it every 3 months.
Changing the offerings and
Yeah, it's a rotating selection. So not just the seasonal, but also seeing what the trends are, and but the focus of the wine list really is to shine a light on all the off the beaten path grape varieties of the world and the lesser known wine regions, lesser known countries or countries that you may not know. So wine producing countries, so trying to stay really, really far away from the mainstream. It's not a museum wine list where you're going to have like 10 pages of Bordeaux and Burgundy and whatnot. So, but it just really every grape variety that you probably don't even recognize, but that actually has an incredible amount of personality and quality.
that sounds exciting. That sounds absolutely wonderful to be able to do that because so often you want to try a wine and yet you have no idea what it's going to be like or anything, and that way you can do a taste of it and or a region and understand a little bit more about it. Do you 125 wines? How do you preserve them? What do you do? Is
I
nitrogen?
knew that. I knew that was the next question that was coming. That's usually the first thing that people ask. With the founders, Jonathan and Devin, when we were sitting down, kind of like designing everything and what was going to happen, we were, here in the construction site, basically inhaling sheetrock and and sawdust day after day. We were kind of like, well, how are we going to do this? And so initially, my thought was, okay, well, Coravin obviously is one of the things that we have to have. So for the premium pours, but and then Coravin has another model called the Pivot,
Yeah, just out.
which
Just
yeah.
out.
Sorry. Which actually I imagined it was going to be really great and efficient, and every wine steward was going to have one in their pockets, and it was going to make the wine service really great. Unfortunately, I noticed that when you switch the pivot from bottle to bottle, there's always like a little bit of wine left over in the spout or in the needle, so there's cross contamination, and I didn't think that was the best plan, and also the gas cost is ridiculous, but I was able to manage it. But what we decided was to invest in the Burmar system, La Verre du Vin, which it's a dual tower that allows me to pressurize the sparkling wines to the exact amount of pressure that it needs so that the bottles don't go flat. And also the second system has special stoppers that extract the atmosphere from the bottle and then preserve the bottles for 3 weeks or so. But we haven't had the need to actually preserve the wine for 3 weeks because we're moving it constantly.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, So you're not using nitrogen on anything. You're using the other systems then.
Yeah, the Burma. The Burma uses CO tanks. So, and with a 20-liter tank, it's lasted me for about 2.5 months. So it's really efficient. So it's the best way to, and we constantly pump the bottles throughout the service so that they're always the freshest glasses being poured.
Wow. That's, yeah, there's so many, you hear about these wine bars, and I've always wondered how they're going to, give us a fresh glass of wine of what we want. What is your price range on a glass of wine?
It's quite wide because we have 8 wines on tap also. So having wines on kegs allows me to have a lot of the entry-level wines. So they usually start around $8 a glass. And then, so the average is like $8-9 for and then the list starts around $10-11, and it goes all the way up to like the splurge page, where you can be spending $130-150 in a glass of wine. So,
wow.
So the idea for me is that if you're coming in here trying to find like what you normally find in a wine bar, so your same Cabernet, your same Pinot Noir, your same Pinot Grigio, et cetera. You're not going to find that in the list proper, right? But you are going to find that on the splurge page because, it's, if you really want a Cabernet, I'm going to give you some of the best ones that you can find. But I'm really trying to like steer you into 30, 40 other grape varieties that like and have the same characteristics and that you probably have never tried before.
Okay. That makes sense. You get people away from the old standard default wine that they're so used to and get them.
You got to get out of the box, you know what I mean? It's like, so I understand there's a comfort zone, when somebody goes to a wine bar and, they see all this and they don't recognize any of these grapes and, in your mind, it's whatever you're used to be drinking or the grape that you remember how to pronounce.
Right.
But over here, it really is all about exploring, and we have a terrific staff, and we're super friendly, and they're knowledgeable and helpful, and we get you to taste a few things, and it's just a kind of like experience. The idea is to create an experience that is really individual in terms of like if you just want to do wine tasting or you want to do food and wine pairing.
Do you have well, I hate to say flight. I mean, that's the word that's used a lot in wine use. But do you have anything like that somebody can come in and say, okay, I'd like to try 4 different wines or something?
People have asked about that, and I think that works best in a wine bar where, maybe you can, like, not everything is available by the glass, so you can create a flight of, let's say, like some special thing. I mean, there's so many wines on the list that to create a flight sometimes it's kind of like moot. So there isn't really a specific flight. We do have a sort of like a blind tasting that we do with wines that are not on our current menu, just to kind of get people to play on the blind tasting aspect in terms of whether it's like all whites or all reds or a combination of both. But flights per se of the wines that we have on the list, no. You can create your own flight by having a couple glasses of wine.
There you go. That will work. What is the temperance is just wine? I mean, you have food. You have.
We do indeed. Yeah. So
okay.
we hired a consultant chef, Chris Jekyll, to consult on the menu, the opening menu, and. It really is just a small menu of small shareable bites, small dishes, kind of almost like tapas style. But there's cuisine from all over the world. It's a touch of Asian, a touch of Mediterranean, a touch of Mexican. So there's different dishes with all sorts of different flavors, which allows us to be very versatile with the pairing. Right. So the idea is that you can grab any item on the menu and pair it with, 15 wines and vice versa. The idea was to kind of create something that was very fluid and not, that you have to sit down and have an appetizer and main course and a dessert. Right. So So if you want to just come in and have 2 glasses of champagne and have a little bite of something, you are able to do that. If you want to have a more substantial meal, you just keep on ordering bites, and it becomes a good meal. So.
Mm-hmm. And you get the variety of all sorts of different regions, which would match perfectly with whatever wine you want to try too. I mean,
yeah, correct. And all those cuisines,
yeah.
So let's say if you were trying to one of the dishes that has the more Mediterranean aspects of it, there's a lot of wines that we have from, and whether it's like Italy, Greece, or Cyprus, or Morocco, that Lebanon, or other places like that you may not think of that actually pair really nicely with the dish.
Mm-hmm.
And so on. So the idea is to have within the hundreds, so 100 plus wines by the glasses, every method of production, right? So whether it's like all the methods of production for sparkling wine, sherry, fortified, rosé, orange wines, extended skin contact, and then your traditional still whites and still reds. And sweet wines too. We have a great selection of sweet wines in a range of sweetness too. So that because they're terrific wines to pair with food, and the idea is to kind of lose that fear of a wine having residual sugar.
Yeah, and it tends to be that the wine snobs, if you will, are the ones that say, "Oh, I don't like sweet wines; it's too sweet." And there definitely is a place for them if they just open up and give it a chance. So.
Yeah, for me, it's just kind of like if you drink your frappuccino from somewhere, or if you're drinking your cherry cola or whatever, those beverages have way much sugar than like any of the sweet wines that we have on the list. So it's about kind of like putting that into comparison and being like, hey, look, if you go drink your caramel macchiato somewhere, that has like 600 times more sugar than like any of the wines that I'm going to serve you here. So
yeah, so it's not really that sweet. It's just the connotation of sweet wine, and I think it turns people off. Do you
but that's historic. I think it's historic. I always think of it. Like you kind of have to think of like of the past and how people used to drink back in the day when you couldn't get fine wines. What America, because America is such a young wine drinking country, right? You don't think of it as like, if you compare it to Europe, that's been drinking wine for centuries, right? Over here, it's like, it's just after the 50s, basically, that we're drinking wine. So we're still learning, right? So what you could get in the 60s and in the 70s in that generation, was generally like the Litfrau milk and like some of the crappy wines from Italy. You weren't getting like any of the premium wines from Germany, Austria, Portugal, Spain, whatnot. It was very limited availability, right? So I think all of that comes to that historic aspect, right? That like what this older generation that might be like, well, I don't like sweet wine. It's something that maybe you have learned from your past.
And that's a good point too, because the sweet wines I remember in my youth were, like you say, the Liefermilchen and a whole bunch of horrible wines if you really look at it, but that's what we grew up on, and
the Blue
because
Nun
we grew up
and
on
all of that, right?
Yeah, there you go. That's another one. Yeah.
And then when I think of like the myriad of great wines that you find, for instance, Portugal is another country that like back then it was only like Mateus, right? Mateus, Rosé, and the other thing that you could get like the. So nobody was thinking of like Portugal as a still wine making country besides like port and Mateus, right? So
that's it.
Yeah. For me, I try to like I always go back to the origin, but at the same time, like history is really important to me, and this is something that I train the staff also very well into kind of like learning how the grapevine spread out throughout the world in history, since 6,000 years ago. And how that has affected, who we are as wine drinkers now, and the styles of wine that are produced.
How many staff members do you have?
So the OGs are 6 people, right? The 6 wine stewards, and then we have 2 bartenders. So our team, it's very homogeneous. We don't it's just wine stewards and bartenders, equally. And their roles can be switched around anytime, right? They're interchangeable. And they have different levels of certifications. Some people came in here with like no knowledge, and our incentive was to fund their WSET certifications. And the longer they wanted to stay with us, we would continue to funding the next level and so on, as long as they pass the test, right? So,
fantastic.
One of our team members just passed his intermediate, and now he's going for the advanced. We have another one that's going from the advanced to the diploma. So people are of different levels. So, but we're trying not to be kind of like the old school sommelier, with the uniform and all that. We're just kind of like the friendly neighborhood wine bar where you can come and try everything. So, but so right now we just hire a couple more people because we're starting to get really busy. So we need a little extra hand. So we have a couple ladies that have joined us also in different levels of knowledge. We're increasing the team, I think. So, but it's just that sorry, go ahead.
No, I just want to say being able to pursue the certification in wine, I don't think there's any place I've ever known that does something like that. I mean, we'll pay for your college, but we'll get you more experience and more knowledgeable in wine is a great idea. I like that.
Yeah, education is a big part of Temperance. Even before the opening, once we had settled on the staff that we had hired, we spent very long weeks or very long days when we were, I was just teaching the staff, going through PowerPoint presentations and basically tasting 10, 12 wines every single day, right? So the idea was to, so even before we had the liquor license and all of that, I had my reps kind of drop off samples of the wines that I was going to serve, so that we can put them in a tasting and either taste them blind or like taste them with slides, so that we could see the origin of the wine. So every one of the staff members participated in every one of the classes right up to the opening. So they already had a solid education, I think, right before. And I follow sort of like the same format of the WSET, and I had a lot of material for that. So like right when we opened, we had a lot of people, and I think it helped them also. Once they went to take the certifications, they had already some base knowledge from the things that they had learned here.
Yeah, it would make a difference. During serving, do your staff members talk to the customers about the origins and the grapes and all that, or do you understand? My question is here: as I'm sitting there and I order a wine, would I want to have someone tell me all about the origin and all that, or do you have customers that ask about it, or do you have some that prefer not to know, just serve me the wine? What?
It's a mix, like some people are here on a date, and they don't want to be interrupted, so they just kind of, order the wine quietly, and then, they just don't want to be disturbed. But some other people are just much more engaged and really, really want to know all the details about the wine. And we get a lot of like wine people coming in here too, so that's another. You can't escape that, right? The people that are maybe studying on their own or going to another certification, or people that are just looking to explore. So they're just really interested in knowing a lot of the details of the wine. So my goal, which we achieved, was to just make sure that no wine that's on the list it's on the list without the staff knowing fully about the wine. So we have a good database of information that we keep digitally, where we keep all the information, and they get notifications. And every time that I make a little change, they will get a little ping on their phones, and they'll see the new wine that I changed or added or removed, and then we'll taste it. We taste wine every day. We sit down to eat together.
Really?
Yeah, when we were at the beginning, we were when we were like the young team. So I would come in early, and we were new places, almost like a mom and pop place, I would say. And I would come in early, and I would set up the place, and then I would go to the kitchen, and I'll help cook the family meal, and then we'll sit down to eat, and then I will just pull some wines from the list, or I will ask the staff and say, hey, what do you want to drink today? Let's pull 2 wines, a white and a red and whatever, and we'll sit down at a table with whatever food we had, whether it was takeout or something that we cooked. And then we just talk about the wines and the aspects of food and wine pairing with the food that we had in front of us, right? So that kind of always keeps them refreshed in terms of like remembering like the wines that we have, because with over 122, you're bound to forget 1 or 2, right? But
Oh my gosh,
you're
yes.
constantly tasting, constantly like eating and tasting and kind of putting that into your memory bank, then you're golden.
Yeah, and it gives you an opportunity. I'm looking at your menu now. This is really quite a diversified menu. I can see what you're saying about different areas and all that. And this looks like more than just finger food here. You've got things like duck meatballs and Lebanese lamb burger.
Yeah. So there are a few things. Everything is like I said, shareable bites, right? But nothing is really like an entree. You're never gonna get like a tomahawk steak or something like that, right? So it's all gonna be like things that people can share. The meatballs, you get 5-7 meatballs in a tiny in a plate, and people can share, or you can have them on your own and whatnot. The burger is something we recently added, since we have our chef Ahmed Saloui, who is from Morocco, so he's been adding a touch of that spice from the Mediterranean to a few of the dishes, and he's terrific. And little by little, he's just been making tweaks to the menu, and it's great because obviously adapting to the seasons and the flavors and the wines at the same time.
Are you to the point where you're turning customers away because you're full?
Yes, we are, especially in the weekends. Well, initially, when we first opened, we did not have a reservation system, so we were handling everything in-house, which ended up being totally normal. But we are at that stage that now we're working through Resi since the beginning of October, and now we basically book ahead like a week in advance. And but we still take walk-ins, right? But in the weekends, we're in such a neighborhood, like the West Village is so vibrant, right? And so we get a lot of walk-ins. I think 65 to 70% of our business is walk-ins.
Oh wow, that's quite a bit.
Yeah, it really is. I've seen it. Well, we only have a handful of tables. Our capacity is 74, seats on the table. So. But constantly, there's a constant flow for the bar and groups, and it's been really, really great. I'm very, very happy. So, and I hope it continues.
I'm sure it will.
The past 2 weeks we didn't have someone at the door. So I was manning the door for and greeting people and getting the tables, et cetera, whatnot. And then I just realized that I was to a point where like I just have no place for people to sit down, and so it's a good evil, right? But no, we run a wait list now. So if you kind of just want to walk around the block and wait for someone to finish a glass of wine, we get you a table and then you'll be good.
Okay. Mike, you have any questions for AJ out there? We're going to wait until Mike finds us again here.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Okay.
Can you hear me now? Oh, you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm still making changes here, but no, everything's good. I was just working on some audio stuff, listening in, taking notes, and I think I've got some of it working now. So no, everything's good. Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's coming through on Facebook.
I did check that too. I did check. I saw the closed captioning or something that it does. So that's good. Yeah. So we're still.
Yeah, and I hear the voices coming through and all that,
Yeah,
so I
good.
can hear us. So,
Okay. No, I
Great.
appreciate it.
so
Thank you. Very,
everything's good.
very knowledgeable
Oh,
with what you've done. It's amazing. And the way you treat your staff and everything. I just, yeah, it's
Yeah,
really good.
I think one of those things is, and I think we right at the beginning when we were doing the interviews with all the team members, I basically was just like designing how the service was going to go and the type of hospitality that we wanted to have and some of it stemmed from the fact that we were all holed up in our homes during 2020, right? And
Yeah.
people still had
yeah.
that fear of going out
Yep.
and so for me it's just kind of welcoming every person that walks in through the door as if they were coming to my house to a house party or my birthday, and just kind of just giving them the best welcoming that they can have, and anybody can choose whatever they like to sit. I'm not gonna. We don't set tables for anybody. You have the ability to choose your own experience and be comfortable. It's just kind of that sort of we want to welcome you because 2020 was just such a blip with the pandemic and whatnot, and so for us it was just kind of trying to make something different and just you're coming home. And we're going to take care of you. We're going to find you food. We're going to get you something to eat. We're going to get you something to drink, and and that's it. We'll take care of you. That's the idea.
I might have
Very
missed
good.
this.
You good?
Oh, I'm sorry. I might have missed this part of it.
Go on.
How many guests can you have in Temperance, or did I miss that part?
So our capacity is 74 guests.
Oh, wow.
And that includes the staff. To tell you the truth, So,
Okay.
but so if every seat in the space is staffed, it would be 74 people.
Wow.
Obviously, the patio doesn't count there, and right now, we're just waiting for heaters for the patio. But during the summer, the patio was just completely packed every single night. It was the greatest extension of the space. And we also do a lot of events. We book a lot of events and wine tastings and birthday parties and happy hours, and we've just been open for 3 months. It's pretty insane.
Wow.
That's amazing. Yeah. 3 months, you're already this advanced in it. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I noticed here you got. Go on.
No, go on, John.
No, I'm just going to bring up. I'm looking at your site and I'm perusing through all of it. But you got an event coming up. Was it not this weekend, but next weekend? Next
weekend. The Pecking House takeover. So Chef Eric Kwan is going to come over. He'll take over the kitchen. They sent out all the dishes that they're going to be served ahead of time a couple of weeks ago, and I was able to sit down and taste it. I put a bunch of wine in front of me, maybe 30 or 40 bottles, and I just kind of started tasting and pouring, tasting and eating, tasting and eating, and that's how I designed the pairings that are going to go with each one of the dishes. So you'll get a chance to have something on a more affordable price point, or you can splurge on something nicer if you want to too. That will be a great pairing. So that's on the 13th and the 14th. We're sold out already, to tell you the truth. We looked at the book this morning, and there's way over 200 and some people already booked.
Wow.
So that is way over our capacity for that night.
Way over.
So we are, we probably have three or four seatings as we can, as many as we can fit. Turn and burn.
Yeah,
and
really.
And the next day we'll do the same, and it should be super, super popular. We're very excited to be doing this. Actually, I think it's a great collaboration. Putting the culinary and the wine minds together to offer the guests a great experience.
Some wines just lend themselves to food. I mean, it's just so easy to sip a glass of wine and enjoy it, but then when you pair it with the right food, it becomes an experience, not just enjoyment, but an actual epiphany sometimes, because the food will bring out the wine and the wine will bring out the food, and it seems
Correct.
like you're attempting to do that.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. And I usually tell that to people a lot. I said, you got to make sure that you think that the food will change the flavor of the wine, and the wine will change the flavor of the food. So you really have to work on like what. But in the end, people are going to drink what they like to drink, right? I'm not going to be preachy about it and be like, oh, you got to drink this because I'm the shaman. So for me, it's like this is what I suggest. But if you want to go otherwise, feel free, right? So.
Yeah. That I'll just disconnect that.
The last thing I would say, and probably you noticed that, and I am supremely honored, and I'm very proud of the team and everything that they've done, and the list itself, and so in such a short period of time, we were awarded first the best regional wine list for North America by the World of Fine Wine. So, and after that, we were competing for the global best new wine list. And so the award ceremony was last November 1st, and we won. We were up against one of the wine bars, the Jumeirah Essex in London. So we are now the world's best new wine list for 2021. And we also got 2 stars for that. So yeah, I'm very, very thrilled, and it's I wasn't expecting anything really. So this is just it's a blessing indeed.
It's quite an honor. Congratulations. That really is.
Well, thank you.
It really is quite great. And look at us. We've got you as a guest on our program after that, too. One of the first ones.
Yeah, no, it's I'm blown away. I to tell you the truth. Like when they first told me, like, yeah, you got the best regional for North America, and I'm like, yeah, no way. And I finally looked it up on the website, and I was like, oh my God, it's true. And then every winner kind of goes against the next one, and then we got this award. So yeah, it's keeping coming. I'd say it's. Like I said, I want all these wines to have a voice. For me, I always compare it to music. I assemble a wine list like I assemble a composition. You have to have the right instruments, the right amount of instruments, the right amount of like textures and colors, and then and that's how the harmony works, right?
Right.
And then I just let it play. So yeah. every one of his great varieties has a voice, and I just wanted to have a voice. And we work a lot with like. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I'm just going to say, do you still do any music, or has?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I still play in the house. I mean, I have my piano at home, and I play the organ also, and but in terms of composition, very little. It's a thing that it requires a lot of my time, and right now that's something that every day that passes, I have the less off time. And so, but in the weekends on my days off, in the mornings, I play and practice a little bit. So there's always music in my head, right? So that's something I can't avoid. But yeah, for me, it's just kind of, I think like when I think of how I chose to select these great varieties and this wines from these places, I've always had an affinity for obscure classical music too. Like lesser known composers, lesser known eras that people might not look for. Kind of stay away from the classical period, but just kind of go pre-Baroque or like pre-classical, and finding out all these composers that most people don't listen to. And I have fell in love with so many of them and so many of their pieces of music that I constantly play on when I'm at home.
Mike does a DJ program, and he's very good about picking up artists that are off the mainstream also. And so when you were saying that just reminded me of him and his
indie
approach.
music. Yep, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Independent artist.
It's kind of like the indie classical.
Mm-hmm.
The indie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, excuse me. That's when you were talking about just something different that most people don't listen to. That's great. Because that's there's a lot of great music out there in that area that is not well noted. So it's good that you enjoy it too.
Yeah.
Let's see. I was going to say something there, and I lost my train of thought.
I was looking at your location in case anyone is wondering. You are like right in Manhattan. You are.
Yes.
It looks like just
In
east
the heart of the West Village.
Yeah, south of Greenwich Village, east of Pier 40. It looks like at Hudson River Park. You're east of that, near Washington Square
so
Park.
we're on 40 Carmine, and right by West 4th. So West 4th Street, which is like I will say the key point there. We're basically a block away from that.
Okay.
And we're also a couple blocks away from 7th Avenue, so Christopher Street, and Washington Square Park. So the area, it's really, we're right dead center here. So it's very neighborhoody, and we get a lot of locals, a lot of neighbors that come over, like even from upstairs and all the buildings nearby. So. And you can bring your dog if you want to be in the patio. You bring the dog.
You pet friendly. Yeah,
good.
That's good. We when I had the winery, we were pet friendly there too, and it's always.
We love our neighbor pets. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, when you have them all around the neighborhood there, which you'll probably see them walk by all the time. Yeah. Well, any other comments or things you would like to bring up here, AJ, before we let you get back to work?
I just want to thank you immensely, really, for considering me for this, for having me on. It's
our pleasure.
It was really unexpected. So for me, I'm rarely in one of these. I can't remember the last time I actually sat down and did a podcast or some sort of interview of this sort. But I just want to say thank you, and just to welcome everyone. You are welcome anytime, and come on over. We'll play with some wine. We'll take some things together. We'll have a great time.
That sounds great.
That sounds fantastic. I will definitely put that on my to-do list. Before you leave, though, give us information, how people can get a hold of you, how they can check you out, how they can contact you, address, websites, Instagram, Facebook, everything.
Okay. Yes, all of the above. All right. So my Instagram, my personal Instagram, which I answer to everybody that reaches out to me. It's my full name without dashes or spaces, so it's AJOJEDAPONS, right? At A, and so with the. And then for Temperance, so our email address is temperancewinebar@gmail.com. Again, no spaces or dots. temperancewinebar@gmail.com. The Instagram is at Temperance NYC, and we are on Resi. If you're looking to make reservations, the email again, temperancenyc.com.
And your address?
Yeah,
it's 40 Carmine Street, and that's between Bedford and Bleecker, NYC 10014.
And your
phone number?
You're actually open till 11 p.m. tonight? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we're open Tuesday through Saturday from 4 p.m. till 11. In the weekends, Fridays and Saturday, we open a little bit later, but and then we open for brunch on Saturdays and Sundays from 12 to 4. And then on Sundays, we close at 9.
Okay.
Are you there every day?
Yes, sir. Yes, I am.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm here Tuesday through Saturday, mainly. Sundays I try to leave Virgil, my AGM, to take care of the business. But,
sure.
But yeah, I'm generally here Tuesday through Saturday. It's just nice being here. It's like my place, my own, and
yeah,
the face of Temperance. I want to see everybody that comes in. We're at this early stage where I just kind of want to, make sure that everybody's taken care of and things are running smoothly, etc.
That's fantastic.
That's great. TemperanceWineBar.com, is it?
Yeah, temperancenyc.com.
Temperance NYC.
NYC.com.
Yeah.
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 Okay, temperancenyc.com. All right, everybody out there, you know where they're located now, and if you're listening to this anywhere in New York, then get there. And anywhere else, find a trip.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like a great way to try different wines that you're not going to go out and buy a bottle. And you can also get a little bit of education with that bottle of wine, too, which if you go to the store and grab a bottle, you're not going to get the education that you're going to get there. So it is worth the stop.
Yeah.
And AJ, thank you so very much for taking your time tonight and joining us. It was fantastic. Again, congratulations on your award, and
Absolutely.
hope you get many more.
Continued success.
Thank you very much, Ron. It was really a pleasure, and thank you again, you and Mike as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good
you.
evening, and appreciate it.
Well,
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah, you too.
Take care.
Thank you.
You too. Thanks.
Well, that was.
Right.
Oh,
Yes,
there they are. You know what surprises me is I didn't hear a New York accent. You know, I was expecting somebody, hey, how you doing? You know, yeah. It's what?
Or
Yeah.
a Spanish accent. I
Yeah.
mean, he's born and raised in Venezuela.
Mhm.
No accent at all. I mean, it just.
Yep.
You know, it surprised me too because I was sort of expecting something. And
Yeah.
there was, nothing at all there. No accents of any type or
Sounded good.
anything. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, what a location! That is not.
Oh my
it's
gosh!
It's not cheap in Manhattan. That's for sure. That's like.
That's not. No, not cheap at all.
No.
But,
Any
that's probably
part
why
of it.
he has to stay open 5 or 7 days a week and be there to, just to make it. But being sold out like he is, that's just.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah. Hope it
It's
stays,
fantastic.
continues on, and it does well for him. So sounds good.
It's a great concept, though.
Mhm.
It's having all the different wines. Now, if anybody wants to check it out, their wine list, you can go to Temperance NYC, and look at the menu, and the menu will list the first two or three pages is the food, but then it goes into the wine, and you can, it has a little information of different things you can do and all that, but then it goes into the wines and it lists the wines, and oh my gosh, what a diversified list! It is just amazing how many different wines he has and how many not mainstream. That's not the words I was looking for, but how many different ones that are there that you normally don't consider or think about and all that, and you get a chance to taste them here that you would never think about any other way. So it's just a great concept, a great idea, a great place. So
yeah, absolutely.
And I don't.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, I was just looking at the subway because I know people travel.
Yeah.
They either walk or they travel by subway in New York City. So take the Washington Square stop, and it's about 2 or 3 blocks, about three and a half blocks or so from the Washington Square W4 Street stop there, and all the trains, they call them, stop there. So check it out. I've been there. I've been in New York a few times, and it's a scary place. But anyway, no, it's not.
It is.
It's
I've only
for
been there a
somebody
couple times.
for somebody
I'm
who's
still
not
scared.
used to it. For somebody who's not used to that, the traffic, the pedestrians, everybody walks. It's incredible. And then everybody else drives. So it was just a totally different world up there. But take the train. And I took several subways. It's just or several trains. God, I call them subways. They're gonna hunt me down or something.
Yeah.
But
trains. Yeah.
You
jump on the train. Yeah.
Yeah. Jump on a train.
When I was there, guy said, "Have you been to the Statue of Liberty?" And I said, "No, not yet." He says, "Well, go there." He said, "Take this train to that train to this train, this train to that train, then you can get off and take the ferry."
Yeah.
And I go, "Wait, I'm not from here. I don't remember."
Yeah.
So he whipped out a piece of paper and he wrote it down and said, "Here, follow this." But it is you can get anywhere.
Yep.
By
sub. Train.
grabbing a train.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Get there, park your car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with parking. It was,
Yes.
yeah, very good. But,
Yes. It's like New Orleans. And once you go to New Orleans, too, you the same thing. You park your car and you walk around everywhere.
Yeah.
Because it's impossible to find a parking spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
that was good.
So,
good guest. I appreciate him coming on,
that was interesting.
spending time with us.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, boy, what kudos to him for his awards. I mean, open 3 months and the best in the world. I mean, my gosh.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That is amazing.
Let me see where I can.
Public service announcement. Daylight saving time ends this Sunday morning.
Oh, it's this Sunday?
So set your alarms for 2 o'clock in the morning. Get up and put the clock back 1 hour and go back to bed. Yeah.
Huh. That's kind of all of a sudden.
All of a sudden, here we are. In fact, it's going to be lighter earlier and darker earlier, and it's going to be weird getting up and more light, and then about 5 o'clock it's going to start getting dark. You're going to go, oh my gosh, it must be time for bed. You know?
Yeah, exactly. So Sunday the time falls back an hour. Okay, fall.
Sunday it falls back. Back. Yeah.
Let me.
And I don't think there's anything else. Oh, wait a minute. Let me. Before we leave, let me dig out. And it's here because I have it handy. I always do. We are in November now, and let's see what November has to offer as far as wine holidays and wine months. Oh, yesterday or Tuesday? No, Monday. Monday was the first. Monday was Ennomavro Day, which is a name of a grape. That was that day. The 7th coming up is International Merlot Day. And then on the 9th is International Tempranillo Day. Either the 9th or the 2nd Thursday of November or the 11th or the 12th. I don't know because they gave me all sorts of different dates for that. But Tempranillo Day is coming up, International Tempranillo, which is a grape, by the way. So those are the ones coming up the first month. November, like so many other months, are designated different wine months for different states or areas. November has none. So that's unusual, but they don't have any state that's celebrating a holiday or a wine month on November.
Wow.
Odd, yeah. So I just remember that we got ourselves a new month here. So those are the new reasons to drink, as if we need one.
You don't need any reasons. Just enjoy drinking. Don't need a reason. Let me do an audio thing real quick. I think I fixed it. Tell me if you hear this.
Okay.
Did you hear it? You sure did.
When are you going to play it?
Oh.
When are you going to play it?
You didn't play it? You didn't hear it? Oh, my God.
I didn't hear it, no.
It went over.
No, I did not.
I know it went over the stream, but you're not hearing it. Isn't that interesting?
It went, yeah, I have Facebook open up to the All About Wine here, and I've had it streaming quietly next to me, and every once in a while I'll listen and I'll hear me delayed, which is a weird thing.
It is. Yeah, I know.
I'll hear me Yeah. But it's been coming through on Facebook.
Yeah.
You know, the audio has been coming through, and it's been going on very well on Facebook.
Yeah.
So,
well,
but for some reason, I have not been able to hear you at all through mine.
When I play the exit song, which I can do, you won't hear it, but we'll hear it here and over Facebook. And well, wait a minute. That means you're not hearing it on Blog Talk Radio? That doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I'm confused.
It does.
If I can hear it. Anyway, so I guess that'll do it for the show. Let me try one more thing here. Just No, I can't turn on both channels. So anyway, it doesn't matter. So we're done. Just because if you don't, if you're not hearing it through Blog Talk Radio, then that means Blog Talk Radio isn't hearing it, which is pointless. I could play the video. I could mute the.
When you played, you hit the button for the opening. Mm-hmm. We heard that.
No, yeah, because I was playing it through Blog Talk Radio. I was playing Blog Talk Radio's mono version, which is it's not as good as the stereo version.
And then we're talking here on Blog Talk Radio, so everything is going through that.
Yeah.
But then it picked it up on Facebook when you know, throughout the show. So I don't know. Well,
I'm hearing this,
but I haven't been able to hear any of your tests.
Okay, let me do one more test real quick. Hold on just a second.
Okay.
That's good there. When this doesn't go through? No. Okay.
No.
They probably heard that over the air. Ringing, the communications.
Now, I heard some phone ringing in the background during the show.
That wasn't me.
Was that you?
No.
Okay.
I thought that was your end.
That must have been him then.
Oh.
No, that must have been through AJ. He must have, you know, because no, it wasn't me. It was I heard it come in, and I'm thinking, oh, you know, that you must be playing, and I thought maybe you were trying to get my attention, so I went back and looked to see if you left me a note or a message or something.
No. Let me try those. Did you hear that?
I hear that.
You did?
Yes.
Okay. I
did.
I got that fixed. Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm
ready to do the outro.
Also bought myself a present.
That's next month.
And it arrived Tuesday.
Ooh.
No, the Family Tree Cemetery Guide: How to Find, Record, and Preserve Your Ancestors' Graves.
You did.
I got the hard copy.
Wow.
Yes, I did.
Perfect.
It's a fascinating little book. I started to read it. And yeah.
What operating?
Well, I'm going to read it, then I'm going to send it up to my sister.
What operating system is it? I didn't get the.
It is under eyeglasses and eyeballs.
Oh, okay.
So
different OS. Okay.
The hard copy.
Yeah. Operating. Yeah. Okay.
And I figured I'll get it, read it, and send it to my sister since she's into genealogy and all that. So.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, I got
very well
the book and
very well written.
And started to peruse through it and started to read a little bit of it and all that. Really, there's some great things in it, great information in there. I just already noticed.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the cemeteries and things like you were saying the other day. So, so it's something I'm going to probably try to get through over the next week and see how much of it I can get read.
Yeah.
So
well, good. Yeah, I'm still going through it, but
everyone out there,
a lot of information. Yeah, a lot of information on it.
A lot of information.
Okay, well, we will. It's 8:04, 8:05 now. We'll close the show. We'll see you all next Thursday, which is November something else, the 11th. And thank you for tuning in.
11th.
Yeah, is it? Oh, and.
Veterans Day next Tuesday. You know, hug a veteran between now and all the time.
Absolutely.
So,
thank you all again.
Okay.
Have a great week.
Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah. Be safe.
AJ, thanks for taking the time out tonight again. Also, and again, congratulations on your award and
best of luck. Good success to you.
Thank you. Best of luck to you. And we'll see all of you next week.
And go. You should hear this.
I hear it.
This concludes tonight's broadcast of All About Wine with your host, Ron. For show information, links to All About Wine on Twitter and Facebook, or to be a guest on this show, visit the show website at www.allaboutwinebtr.com. Archived shows are available for download on iTunes or on our show page at blogtalkradio.com/All About Wine. Thank you for listening. Drink responsibly, and we'll see you next time on All About Wine.